The scene starts with a flashback to a Halloween night when Elliot hears someone knocking on his door. Upon answering the door, it's Darlene, who is wearing a F Society mask. It appears that she has returned to her brother after a long absence. Following this, they smoke a joint and watch a torrented copy of the slasher film The Careful Massacre of the Bourgeoisie, from where the F Society mask originated. During their conversation, Elliot shares with Darlene about being fired for destroying a server room after he fell asleep. A few moments later, he shows her an old jacket that belonged to their father. On his sister's behest, he puts on the jacket as well as the face mask. This almost revitalizes him, and he is suddenly talking about becoming a Trojan horse within Evil Corp in order to take them down from inside. Under the mask, he is filled with ideas that pour out of him in an endless stream. Initially, Darlene believes he is joking, but she is scared when she realizes he is serious. However, it is unclear who is under the mask at that moment, Elliot or Mr. Robot. At present, Elliot and Darlene are at their mother's place discussing the next step in their plan. The brother and sister are at odds as Elliot no longer wants to be involved in changing the world. When Darlene informs him that she has something big planned for the bailout vote in DC, Elliot balks, claiming that it wasn't him, rather it was Mr. Robot. Upon hearing this, Darlene states that she needs Mr. Robot because Elliot is not helping her. Elliot suspects his sister is not being truthful with him and is concealing some of her intentions. On the other hand, Di-Piro has FBI agents crawling all over the F Society hideout at the Boardwalk Arcade, where they find a bullet casing. Meanwhile, Joanna is giving the money to one of her workers named Kareem. In the aftermath of her husband's disappearance, it appears that she is working on her anonymous plan. However, she is running out of money, making it difficult for her to retain her workers. Elliot is at Ray's office, where they play chess both metaphorically and literally. Neither of them is stupid, regardless of what they are dealing with. Ray still advises Elliot to talk to him, ensuring that whatever they discuss remains within the confines of the room. A few moments later, Mr. Robot shows up and he appears concerned that Elliot might confess everything he did. Later, a chess game is set up between the father and son, with the condition that whoever loses fade away forever. The next day, Elliot goes to Krista, who has got his best interests in mind, sticking by him after so much. She now wishes to talk to his father, but he is afraid that doing so will legitimize his power, giving him more control. Krista claims that annihilation is the only solution, but Elliot does not seem to agree on this. Elsewhere, Philip and the leader of the Dark Army, White Rose, talk on the phone about their plan. Philip claims that everything takes time, but White Rose is not a fan of being patient. Moreover, White Rose has lots of contacts, so he is aware of Di-Piro's investigation into the 5/9 hack and the FBI's discovery of the F Society's hideout. On the other hand, Joanna goes to Scott in order to get money from her husband's severance. Scott is seen drinking himself to insanity, seeking vengeance for his wife's murder. Following this, she proposes a deal: give her the money from Tyrell's severance, and she will testify that Tyrell did not return home the night Sharon died. The same night, Darlene is walking down the street when she notices that she is being followed. Shortly after, she is approached by someone wearing an F Society mask, who asks for her phone and gives her directions, telling her to arrive there. Following this, Darlene goes in the direction specified and waits for the man in a bar. A few moments later, she learns that it is Cisco who appears to be checking in with her about Romero, the FBI investigation, and whether she is okay. Their conversation soon turns erotic, and as a result, they make out in the bathroom. After this, Cisco informs her that the FBI is involved, which makes the Dark Army nervous. When Darlene hears of this, she appears concerned and wonders how it happened. In the next scene, we see Elliot, who is imagining a normal future with the people he knows. He envisions Darlene and Cisco marrying, spending time with old friends, and eating with everyone at a large table in the middle of the street. In the background, a large building is being demolished, and everyone, including Elliot, claps happily. The following day, Elliot is in the woods playing chess with Mr. Robot for winning the previous challenge. But every time the game comes to a stalemate, and as a result, they begin the game again and again. Regardless, the pattern continues to repeat, and no one is able to win. After a while, Elliot realizes that he cannot defeat Mr. Robot, and that Mr. Robot cannot defeat him as well. Following this, Mr. Robot tries to explain that he is with Elliot for a reason, and that fighting him is a waste of time. Elsewhere, Angela has realized that Philip has a reason for involving her in E-Corp, and made her arrest the two colleagues earlier. Knowing that she has value to him, Angela decides to use all of her leverage. much. Following this, she approaches Philip in the E-Corp parking lot and demands a nice office and a promotion, but Philip refuses to comply with her demand. Meanwhile, Elliot visits Ray's office and informs him of the stalemate, returning his chessboard. This time, Elliot offers to help him with his website troubles. Elliot then begins working on the problem. But something about Ray does not quite sit right because he seems to be hiding something from Elliot. While working on the problem, Elliot communicates with Darlene privately, which leads him to learn about the FBI's investigation and Romero's murder. Finally, Elliot is back in front of the computer, this time deciding to hack the FBI in order to save his sister. Following this, Elliot starts working on the codes, realizing that he has always lived for all this. He also recalls hacking into his town's municipal government when he was 11 years old. As he works on the codes, he suddenly realizes that he is not alone in the room. Actually, he is with one of Ray's men named Lone Star. Elliot then devises a strategy to send Lone away so that he can earn more time for hacking the FBI. As a result, he pretends that he needs to speak with the old system administrator. On the other hand, Angela returns home from work only to discover her old friend, Darlene, checking her laptop. Angela inquires as to what she is doing at her apartment, to which Darlene responds that the FBI may discover that Angela was the one who illegally inserted a CD into a drive at Allsafe. Darlene wants her old friend to help her in disappearing the evidence, more penetration on the FBI hack on the Evil Corp side, and to make sure no one knows Angela and Elliot were involved in the Allsafe end of the massive debt hack. In the midst of all of this, the FBI is conducting its own investigation. Di Piero is delving deeper into the evidence, uncovering more and more every day. Di Piero and her team travel to China to meet with the country's Minister of State Security, who happens to be none other than White Rose. In the meeting, White Rose, who is disguised in menswear, becomes suspicious when Di Piero pointedly asks intelligence on Dark Army members, but it appears to be just a coincidence. Later after meeting, Di Piero is looking for the bathroom when she comes across White Rose's room, which contains several clocks. Shortly after, she is approached by White Rose, and the two have a brief conversation about the ticking clocks on the wall. White Rose speaks a quote, "Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more." During their conversation, he asks Di Piero about her personal motivation for joining the FBI. She hesitates at first, but eventually reveals how her boyfriend dumped her when she was nearing the end of law school, prompting her to join the FBI. Following this, White Rose leads her to his closet, which is stocked with the finest dresses, claiming they belong to his sister. Meanwhile, Joanna meets with Kareem, who is constantly paranoid because he believes the police are tapping his phone, watching his location, and so on. Hearing this, Joanna appears tired of all this, but she plays it off with a straight face and assurances. Later in the evening, Brazen, as per Joanna's order, executes Kareem, putting an end to his paranoia. At a bar, Angela meets with Ali after a long time apart. During the conversation, he hands her his resume and asks if there are any open positions at E-Corp. He acts semi-normal until she figures out that he is actually recording their conversation. It is revealed that he is attempting to persuade her to confess what happened during the Allsafe hack. After learning all of this, Angela demands the truth, to which he responds that he is not working with the FBI, but that he has spoken with them and given them some information. Angela is so disappointed that she throws his phone on his beer and storms out. In the next scene, Darlene asks Elliot to speak with Angela and convince her to help them. However, Elliot does not want to drag Angela into all of this mess. Later that evening, Angela pays Elliot a visit and informs him of her decision to help him out. She also wishes to be by his side and help him in any way she can, just as she used to do in the past. During their conversation, Mr. Robot is also in the same room with them. The next day, Elliot receives assistance from RT, the previous system administrator for Ray's website. RT gives Elliot a glimpse at the website he's helping with, what Ray is really doing under the nose of the law, the community. RT secretly provides him with the login credentials to a Tor hidden site, and upon logging into the website, Elliot discovers Ray runs an online black market that sells weapons, high-grade narcotics, and enslaved children. Despite Mr. Robot's insistence that they are fighting other battles, Elliot wishes to do some good for the world. On the other hand, Angela goes to Darlene via a predetermined route in case they are being watched. Upon reaching there, Angela meets the remaining members of F Society, who are ready to get started on the next leg of the hack. The next morning, Di Piero is having her breakfast when she is under attack by several gunmen. She quickly takes cover and somehow manages to retrieve a gun from her deceased teammate. Following this, she manages to take out the gunman, saving herself. In the meantime, Ray and his goons kidnap Elliot from his bed and beat him up severely for snooping into the website that he wasn't supposed to. Subscribe and hit that like button to help our channel grow. Turn the notifications on so you won't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching.